by. The vacuum tubes are warming up. This is a special live broadcast right here on Georgia Radio.
It is always great when friends stop by, especially folks back home in my native Texas. Jody Nix joins me right now to talk about his new work. Glad to have you here, Jody.
Well, thank you, man. I'm glad to be with you.
You're a true Texan. You probably don't do interviews at your home because there's no cell service, if I had to guess.
Oh, yeah, there's plenty.
Yeah, is
plenty
there?
Of cell service. Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm glad.
I just happened to be out and about, and I thought I'd just sit here in my pickup where it's cool and just talk to you.
It's about 119 degrees out there today, probably in your part of Texas.
No,
not too
it's
bad today,
85. Huh? It's the weather's kind of broke and been cloudy and about 15 to 20 degrees cooler the last 3 or 4 days.
Well, you got Heart of Texas Records going there and out there where you're recording. Tell me about this new project you've been working on.
Well, it's out. It came out in April, and we recorded in January. Me and my boys, my Texas Cowboys, plus some guests, Jake Hooker on bass and Floyd Domino on piano. And Jake Hooker's son, Mac Hooker, played guitar, lead guitar and rhythm guitar on it, plus all my boys and me. And I've been talking to Tracy about this for years. And it'd been about 10 or 12 years, I guess, since I'd been in the studio to record anything. And I wanted to, it was time to do it. I wanted to do 2 or 3 more before I get too old to do it, which I'm not. But I'm just thinking that.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're very proud of this project. Tracy's really been a prince to work with. I've been knowing him for 30 years or longer, and I don't know of anybody that promotes real country music any more than Tracy Pitcox does.
Well, that's wonderful, and there's no shortage of it back in Texas. Another Texas guy we had on, Justin Trevino, was just singing the praises of the music out there. And there's something about it, and I think we could learn a lot here in Georgia because there's so much great music that comes out of Georgia, but it doesn't stay here. It all goes up to Nashville. Texas is far enough away that you really have to learn how to make it there and then figure out if you want to leave. And some guys go back, like, Willie Nelson, for instance. Yes,
he did.
Just found a better home down there for his music and that sound. What draws you to that style and that sound?
Well, I grew up in it, Matt. My dad had a wonderful band. His name was Hoyle Nix. His band name was West Texas Cowboys. He wrote the song Big Balls in Cowtown many years ago. It's been recorded.
Heard that a time or two.
Yeah. I played it a time or two myself. Anyway, I was born into a musical family. I'll tell you straight up, praise God for the talent He gave me and my family, the ability to use it all these years. I'm thankful that we're still getting to go and play. And I've always loved the Bob Wills style, the true country style, the hard country, the shuffles, the Texas dance music. That's what I do. That's what I play is dances. And when I hear a twin fiddle kick off or pedal steel, it just makes the hair stand up on the back of my neck.
Yeah, there's just something about that in there. I mean, you can't.
I grew up with it.
Yeah, and you cannot put that in another box. I mean, when you hear it, and you just know it's the way to go. Where are you playing a lot these days, Jody? If folks want to come and hear you,
all over Texas. I have a website, jodynixmusic.com. We've had a great year, great summer, going into a good fall, and let's see. This week I'm in San Angelo, which is not very far from here, and then Saturday we're in Snyder for a private party. Wish I could invite everybody to that, but I can't. Then next week I'm in Stephenville on Friday at the Songbird Amphitheater for the Milton Brown Western Swing Festival. They're going to honor Mr. Brown. He and Mr. Wills together kind of created what we call Western Swing. And Milton Brown lost his life at a very early age 36, I think, in a car wreck. And then Mr. Wills went on right with it, and his career lasted 45 to 50 years. But anyway, I'll be there on Friday the 6th, the 7th. I'm back here in Big Spring at our old place, the Stampede, our dance hall.
Oh yeah,
has been in our family for 70 years.
Has it been in your family? I know the Stampede. Been there a time or two. So, yeah.
Well, it hasn't changed any.
Yeah.
I'm not going to change it.
Yeah, it'd be a shame if it did change. That is.
Yes, it would.
That
Unconstitutional.
That's right.
Is the word.
Yeah. Well, that's a great West Texas gem out there, and just a wonderful place. If you haven't been out there, that is the home of Western swing out there. You can still hear Bob Wills echoing up there in the out there in that high desert area of West Texas. But great stuff. And I have a friend out here, and I know he's going to ask. He's going to say, you finally had someone on with Western swing, and you didn't ask him who in the hell Bob Wills was always talking to in those songs. So I better ask you if you knew who he was talking to, because I can hear Wade now doing the Bob Wills, his impersonation of going, who is he talking to all that time?
Who is your friend?
Yeah, our buddy Wade, who drives he's driving a fertilizer truck now. That the fertilizer is made by chickens, but
yeah. Wade was. Mr. Wills was hollering at his boys, seeking them on, like take it away, Leon, or a fiddle player named Joe Holly that they called Jody. That's who I was named after. Like, oh, Jody.
Yeah.
That's fiddle.
Yeah.
Or Johnny Gamble. He was just talking to his boys. The music moved him that much that was one of his trademarks.
Oh,
they said that people would try to get him to holler, and he said, I don't holler for nobody unless I'm feeling it.
That's right.
And he wouldn't.
See, they just don't realize how timeless those recordings are, and you don't even think about that kind of stuff. But yeah,
right.
That's always what every time I talk to him about Bob Wills, that's the first thing he says is, who was he talking to? So there you go.
Tell him he's talking to his band and just hollering for excitement, because he was excited to hear the music as much as the musicians were excited to make it.
Well, I'm glad you're still keeping it alive, Jody. And listen, if folks want to follow along with you, how can they do that? Give them your website one more time.
JodyNixMusic.com. I have a Facebook page too. You can message me or call me. And if we might touch on this new project again, I'd like to do that if we have time.
Absolutely.
And we went in and recorded some Western swing, some solid country. Like I said, I do both kinds. The Texas dance music in the vein of Ray Price, Farron Young, Mel Tillis, Johnny Bush. That's who I like. That's who I grew up with. And, of course, Bob Wills. We did an old Charlie Walker song called I'll Catch You When You Fall. And that, if you can't dance to that, Hoss, you better not ever go back to another dance hall. And we did a couple of new things. It was written by a friend of mine I went to school with, called First from the Last. It's just kind of a mediocre, good tempo, 4/4 straight ahead. And then the other one he wrote was When You Know How to Fall. It's kind of a 90s sound, like Alan Jackson, George Strait. Of course, I still love them guys. And those guys are still wonderful, I think. And we put, like I say, a couple of new ones in the vein of that. And we did some Ray Price, and there's 12 songs on there. Oh, Mel Tillis, Memory Maker. You remember that?
Yeah.
We get a lot of requests for that at our dances, and we did our own version of it. And we did Faded Love, the Bob Wills classic. I've been asked for years, Matt, to record that. And I thought, when we go back in, we've got to do it. and we did. So it's on there. 12 good songs that we think, and we're so thankful and proud of this project, and hope people that if they get it, they'll be as happy with it as we are to get to do it for our fans.
Well,
and thanks to Tracy for allowing us to be with him on Heart of Texas, and Aaron Matter at Allegro Sound Lab in Burleson, Texas. What an engineer! I mean, wow, that's where we cut it. And all the musicians, my boys, and our guests, and thanks to Jake Hooker for helping me produce it and mix it and everything. It just come off like a champ, man. And I'm not blowing my own horn. I don't do that, but I'm just so proud of this project. It's like the title says, it's about time.
There you go. Well, Jody, I really appreciate you coming on, and please don't be a stranger. Even though we live a few thousand miles apart, please don't be a stranger. Come back
won't,
on.
sir.
You have a home here on Georgia Radio anytime you want it.
Well, thank you, and I appreciate your love for the real country music, and I thank you for remembering our longtime friend Keith Ward over
Oh
at KJBC,
my goodness! I'll tell you what,
Midland.
that was a cool place to get to work, and loved every minute of it. And West Texas, everybody says it's like you've landed on the moon, and to me, it's just one of the most beautiful places on earth. And
this is where I was born. I mean, I was born and raised here, and I knew Keith Ward well.
Yeah,
that's one of the best voices I think ever. Keith never got the recognition that he should have got. Of course, he didn't go out and ask for it. He worked and did his job in Midland, Texas, raised his family right there. And when he retired, he was retired, and we lost him back several years ago, but to the dreaded disease of Alzheimer's, and it was just awful. But what a encyclopedia of real country music that he kept and that he had and he played. If you like country music, you'd listen to Keith Ward on KJBC and you'd hear it.
Oh, yeah, back in the day. Well, they preserved the studio. The guys over there at B Street have it, and they have all of the old equipment there that Keith used to work at over at B Street Studios in Midland there, and pretty neat stuff over there. You have to go take a look at all that.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Sir, man.
Well, Jody, thanks again. Great to hear your voice.
Yes, sir. A pleasure to visit with you. Thank you. All right.
Georgia Radio. Good company and great country.